All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. It is Tuesday, March 14th. We got a bunch of games on today's NBA slate. We're going to jump into each and every game. We'll talk about the game. I'll give you my lean on the spread as well as the total. But like I always tell you guys, my final plays, those will be in the pinned comment. I update that throughout the day. Last night we go 1 and 2. We hit one of our teasers, and then we lost the other teaser due to the Celtics. And it has to be the Celtics, right? I'm a huge Celtics fan, and they have killed two of our teasers in the last week or so. We teased them down from 12.5 to -4 in an 8.5 point teaser. And they lose outright to the Rockets. The Celtics lose outright to the Rockets. So frustrating, man. We also had the under in the Minnesota and Atlanta game, and I think they scored about 754 points total, so that one didn't go our way. But let's see if we can find some spots in today's slate, guys. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, like the video as well. You guys are still going crazy on the likes. I cannot thank you enough, and we are creeping closer and closer to 20,000 subscribers each and every day, which is just absolutely absurd in my brain. So guys, if you're new, make sure you hit that subscribe button and absolutely smother that like button. Let's jump into the first game here. We have the Wizards taking on the Pistons here. Wizards 11-point favorites at home, total sitting at 223 right now. Last time these two teams played was about a week ago. Washington won 119 to 117. They're also 11-point favorites in that game, but something's changed for the Pistons here. This Pistons team seems like they are actually fully in tank mode. Now, they do have some guys that are questionable. These guys I feel like haven't played in a few games, but Burks is questionable. Bogdanovich is questionable here. Jaden Ivey is questionable. Isaiah Stewart still out here. So Pistons are looking to get some of their guys back. And then on the Washington side of things, Kyle Kuzma is questionable here. Washington coming off of 3 straight losses. They've lost 7 of their last 10 games. They're a little bit better against the spread. They're 3-6-1. They do have a push in there, and Detroit coming off a win last night against Indiana. I think it's just too many points to lay. I'm going to lean towards Detroit here, plus the 11 points. And then in terms of the total, 223, I don't hate the over. I don't know if that becomes a final play. Keep an eye on the pinned comment, but I don't hate the over. And before we get into it, I should have addressed this at the beginning of the video. A couple housekeeping things. I am going to be on vacation for the next week, going down to South Carolina, so we're gonna still try to get the videos out. We'll still be posting player props over on TikTok, definitely, so make sure to check us out there. That link is all the way down at the bottom of the description. But yeah, I just want to let you guys know that we will be on vacation, so the videos might look a little differently. I might miss a day or two trying to figure out what best to do. Maybe post a really short video and just say like, picks will be in the link in the description, just to keep things consistent. So just expect that. We don't know what it's going to look like the next few days or so, but I just wanted to call that out to you guys. No, we will be on vacation next week. But let's move on to the next game here. We have Charlotte taking on Cleveland. Charlotte getting 7.5 points at home, total at 221.5 right now. In their last 10 games, Charlotte 6-4 against the spread. Cleveland here 4-6 against the spread. The over's gone over in 8 of 11 games for Cleveland here. And then the last 6 games that these two teams played against each other, the over has hit 4 out of 6 games. So I do like the over in this game. I think it's a very low number. And I also, as crazy as it is, I'm not going to sound the psycho alarm, but I do think that Charlotte, can keep this game at least within the 7 points here. So call me crazy, but I'm leaning Charlotte plus the 7.5 here. I think it's just a little bit too much. And honestly, this is where I come out on the fringe, or on the fence there, I guess. If this were to be maybe a 6.5 point spread, I think I might flip to Cleveland. So just kind of being transparent with you guys as to how close I think that this play could be. And then, like I said, in terms of the total, we are leaning towards the over. All right, moving on, we got the Raptors taking on the Nuggets here. Raptors 1-point favorites at home, total 228.5. I went to the injury report because I was like, is Jokic not playing? Like, why is Denver, why are they underdogs in this game? Jamal Murray is questionable. Toronto has no major injuries, but Denver's just kind of struggling, I guess. They haven't won in 3 games, playing Chicago, San Antonio, and Brooklyn. They're not looking all that great, but at the end of the day, I do think that they are by far the better team here. So even though they are on the road, they're in a they're non-positive. They're a negative team on the road this season against the spread, 14 and 18. I do still think, getting 1 point, I think that's a, a fair ask of them here. They won by 5 points last time they played, was just about 8 days ago or so. So I'm going to lean towards Denver here plus the point. In terms of the total, 228.5, I think it's a little bit too high for my liking, so I'm going to lean the under. Moving on, we got the Thunder taking on Brooklyn here. The Thunder, 1.5 point favorites at home. Total sitting at 230.5. These two teams played in mid-January. OKC has 4.5 point underdogs. Now, this is when Brooklyn had a couple other guys, right? OKC, 4.5 point underdogs, won that game by 10 points. That was their only meeting of the season. In their last 10, 5-4-1 against the spread, but Brooklyn has a decent against the spread record on the road, to say the least. They're 6-2 against the spread on the road. In their last 6 games overall, they're 6-0 against the spread. As much as I do love my rumbling covering Thunder, I do think Brooklyn may be finding something here. So my lean as of right now is towards Brooklyn here, plus the 1.5 points. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is questionable in this game. If he's a full go, if he's on a minutes or anything like that, maybe I do sway back. This is a game that, again, last 2 games I'm kind of on the fence about, but I do think that Brooklyn is playing a little too well to just kind of pass up right now. Again, they've covered 6 straight games, and it's been against decent competition. They played Milwaukee, Denver, Boston in that stretch, so they're playing good teams too and covering against them. So I'm going to lean Brooklyn here plus the points. Then in terms of the total, I also like the over in this game as well. All right, guys, moving on to the Pelicans taking on the Lakers here. Pelicans, 1.5 point favorites at home. Total sitting at 225.5. These two teams played mid-February, and the Lakers won 120-102. But LeBron James is still out here for the Pelicans. Brandon Ingram is questionable. We'll see if he gets any run. But either way, I do think that this is a game in which I see the Pelicans so I haven't been able to trust the Lakers, I guess I could say. They've been a little bit too inconsistent for my liking. They beat good teams like Golden State, and then all of a sudden they lose to some teams that they should be beating. So I'm going to lean towards the Pelicans here. Guys, this isn't going to be a final play. I can't imagine this being a final play. I can't trust the Pelicans team, especially if Brandon Ingram is questionable. So I know there's a couple dicey spots on today's slate, but you guys know I have no poker face or no poker voice for these videos. If I don't love a pick, I'm not going to try and sell you, especially a lean in the video, right? So I'm going to lean towards New Orleans. I don't totally love it whatsoever. I do, in fact, like the over, though, here, 225.5. That has a much stronger chance of becoming a final play. All right, San Antonio taking on the Magic here. San Antonio, 5.5 point dogs at home. Total sitting at 234 in this one. These two teams played a couple days before Christmas this season. Orlando, as 6 point favorites, won by 20 points, 133-113 here. This San Antonio team, they just can't they can't be trying to win games, right? They can't try to win games. They are 3-7 straight up in their last 10 games here. They're 4-6 against the spread, and on the road here at home here they haven't been too great either. I think this Orlando team, though I don't want to lay 5.5 points, I think that sounds absolutely psycho to me. I am going to lay 5.5 points in terms of this lean with the Orlando Magic. I think they're just playing for a little bit more. Franz Wagner is questionable for Orlando. Trey Jones out for San Antonio. Keldon Johnson is questionable, and so is Jeremy Sohan there. Let's go with the Magic here, minus the points. In terms of the total, 234, I think that's way too high for these two teams. So we're going the under. Moving on, we got the Phoenix Suns taking on the Bucks here. Total Phoenix 1.5 point dogs. I don't have a total for this game. This is very early when I'm recording, so we don't have, you can probably tell by my energy levels. But Phoenix against Milwaukee, we don't have a total for here yet. If it is anywhere around 230 or so, I guess I'll lean under, but I don't think, I don't want to necessarily just assume what it's going to be. But in terms of against spread here, Phoenix 6-2-2 against the spread in their last 10 games here. Milwaukee on the road in the last 5, 3-1-1. They're playing decent basketball. Obviously Giannis has been in and out of the lineup and whatnot. They're coming off a loss against Golden State. Phoenix is coming off a loss against Sacramento there, in which they're 4 point favorites. They lose that game by about 9 points, I believe. Kevin Durant obviously still out here. I think this is going to be a very close game. I think it's going to be a back and forth game. I'm going to lean towards Phoenix though, plus the points. And I know I got a lot of flack for looking at Phoenix a couple nights ago, right? I just think that this Phoenix team does have a little bit more in the tank than they've shown, and they can at least compete with plenty of different teams. So I know that it's kind of crazy. I don't totally love it either, but I do like the Suns in this game. I don't think that the Bucks have shown their utmost dominant in the Sun. Phoenix kind of is going to sound crazy, but only watching bits and pieces of the game last night against the Warriors, I do think that they look like they could compete with some of the better teams in the league. Now, they lost by 11, so I'm probably an idiot for leaning towards Phoenix, right? I totally understand that, but I just think that this Phoenix team kind of has what it takes to stick with multiple teams. Moving on, we got Portland taking on the Knicks here. Portland 1-point dogs at home, total sitting at 230.5. Last time these two teams played was back in November here. The Knicks lost that game by 4 points here. They're 3 points. They're 4-point favorites in that game and couldn't get it done. In their last 10 games, they're 7-3 against the spread. In their last 6, they are 4-2 on the road. Portland 4-6 in their last 10. The Knicks, though, dropped a few games in a row, got back on track. What was it, last night or the night before against the Lakers here. Meanwhile, Portland has lost 3 straight games. I think that I'm going to lean towards the Knicks. Jalen Brunson is doubtful. I know they struggle without him, but I still think that this could be a good spot for him, for the Knicks. I mean, Damian Lillard is also questionable for the Blazers, so if we get Brunson and Lillard both not playing, still obviously lean towards the Knicks. And guys, that is all I have for you guys. Again, make sure to check that pinned comment out. That is where the final plays will be. I apologize if the energy was low. We're recording this super early, but we got a pretty hectic schedule coming up in the next few days. So I wanted to get this video and make sure I got it out. So hope you guys do enjoy. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and we'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.